They come to this city seeking thrills and flock to this event to play the very best.
Come on, chicken. You can do it.
There's nothing like it. When you're raking in all those chips, you feel like you've conquered the elements.
Are you kidding me?
But for the veterans, it's about more than just the thrill.
This is my 4th appearance at a final table at the World Series. I'm still braceletless. My peers make fun of me. I really want to win.
It's something that can elude a player for a lifetime.
There'll be quite a few of the old geezers rooting for me here today because we're not exactly in the coffin just yet.
The ever-elusive World Series bracelet is on the line. Welcome to Harrah's Rio Casino in Las Vegas and the World Series of Poker, presented by Milwaukee's Best Light. Tonight, the $1,000 no-limit hold'em event is down to the final 9.
Hello, everyone. I'm Lon McCarron, along with Norman Chad. In what would have been a record-breaking field only 2 years ago, the 800-plus entrants we have for this tournament is just another day at the poker office. And candidates for Employee of the Day include a bracelet winner, a grizzled veteran, and a very familiar face, Phil Gordon.
Just once in my life, Lon, I'd like to be that familiar face. Phil Gordon is everything I strive to be. Tall, rich, good-looking, and proving that a poker broadcaster can actually play poker.
There is Phil Gordon, the familiar face and host of Celebrity Poker Showdown, one of the more popular players on the tour, and David Pham, the Dragon, as he's known, a former bracelet winner.
Chuck Thompson, 66 years old, finished 6th in the main event in 1995.
And you see our chip count, slim lead for Chuck Thompson. David Pham is 3rd. Phil Gordon, not the short stack, but he is close. We are 9-headed as we begin this final table, and there is Ming Law, another one of the former bracelet winners, won his back in 2002. David Pham saw a final table at the World Series Circuit event this year at Lake Tahoe. He folds over to Phil Gordon, and on the Milwaukee's Best Light Pocket Cam, King Queen offsuit.
Phil says he's played the best poker of his life the last couple of days to make this final table.
And Phil Gordon throws out 23,000 chips with that King Queen. Over to CT Law.
He doesn't look like a madman, Lon, but he is.
King 10 of spades.
Very aggressive player. He'll play a lot of different combinations of cards.
CT will make the call. Next player to act is Mike Gracz in the small blind, and he will fold. Shane Schlager in the big blind folds as well. The percentage next to a player's name is a probability. They'll have the best cards when the hand is over. The flop comes 2-8-7. No help to CT Law.
And heads up, Phil Gordon, a 4-1 favorite as both players check to the turn.
Turn card is a king. Now both players have a pair.
Phil Gordon with the better kicker.
And Phil Gordon bets out 23,000.
It's a dangerous spot for CT Law. He paired his king, but he has the weaker hand.
And CT raises to 46,000. Now Phil Gordon with the decision.
Not many chips left for Phil Gordon.
But what he's got, he's reaching for 39,000 more chips all in for Phil Gordon.
How much more?
Over to CT Law. Is he kicking himself now for playing that weak kicker?
He might think he has the best hand right now.
Flush draw?
It's not a flush draw. It's a better king, and he does call Phil Gordon.
Yeah.
And Phil Gordon shows CT Law the better kicker, the king-queen.
Phil Gordon is 93% to win.
How does he know that? It says right there on the screen, and I don't know that. Well, CT Law will need a 10 and a 10 only on the river to knock out Phil Gordon.
And now the river card is a 4. Phil Gordon survives his all-in, doubles up through CT Law.
Tough hand.
I hate when the pretty boy gets classy.
So CT hands some of his chips over to a dangerous Phil Gordon.
Well, at least I won one pot, guys.
We don't have to applaud when you double up, do we?
Why are you picking on me? Thought we were buddies.
All I care about is the rock, paper, scissors.
Well, Phil is hosting a rock, paper, scissors tournament for the players here.
How about we go race to 10 after this? Your prize money for my prize money, whatever that happens to be.
I'll pass.
Smart move by Shane Schlager.
Poker players would make side bets on who's got a bigger neck size to pass the time.
The blinds are at 4,000 and 8,000. 1,000 chip ante from each player. And there is Ming La with King, Queen offsuit. And the short stack is going to push all in, 51,000 chips.
Tough to go all in that shirt.
David Pham folded. Shea Drobashevich folded, as did Phil Gordon. Action once again on CT Law. Born in Hong Kong, lives in England. Ace-8 of diamonds.
Well, CT just took a hit, but he's got a lot of chips. If he wants to, he can afford to take another hit.
He tried to knock out Phil Gordon a moment ago, and he does call Ming La. So Ming La's tournament life at stake. And CT Law with the advantage right now.
Now, Meng Law is going to need to see a king or a queen to take the lead.
And the flop comes 7-8 jack. Paint on the flop, but not what Ming La was looking for.
No, a pair of eights for CT Law. And now, once again, Ming La looking for a king or a queen, his best chance to stay alive.
And the turn is another 8 and trip 8 for CT Law. That earns him the check mark. Ming La drawing dead. It's a useless card on the river. Ming La eliminated in 9th place. He'll take home over $44,000. And CT Law gets back some of the chips he lost a moment ago, still firmly in 2nd place.
We're presented by Milwaukee's Best Light.
Back at the Rio, our final table continues and then some.
Just go rock. Rock. You can't lose with rock.
You want to do one right now for like $20 for practice?
Go for 1,000.
100.
Huh?
100.
Make sure I have 100 in my pocket.
Well, looks like we got a little side action on rock, paper, scissors between Gordon and Shane Schlager.
Let's make it 2 out of 3, though.
All right. I'm going to go rock.
Gordon is the host of that charity event taking place here at the Rio.
1, 2,
1,
shoot.
2, shoot.
Yeah.
All right, good luck, gentlemen.
1, 2, shoot. 1, 2, shoot. 1, 2, shoot.
1.
1, 2, shoot. 1, 2, shoot. One up.
Yeah.
Winner takes it. 1, 2, shoot.
Thank you very much.
Gordon wins.
See, pretty boy's a hustler.
Well, Gordon did take advantage of Shane right there.
Thanks for the donation.
But the truth is, Phil Gordon does have a big heart, and that money really does go to a worthy cause.
Oh, man.
Everyone that I know has someone that they know that's been affected by cancer. The woman that taught me to play poker died the day that I won my very first poker tournament as a professional. She died of liver cancer. I would visit her at her house in rural Columbia, South Carolina, and we'd rake leaves in the afternoon and she'd pay us $1, and then we'd sit down at the poker table at night and she'd take it all back. I wanted to do something to dedicate all the things that she taught me throughout my life. The Bad Beat on Cancer is an initiative that we started at the World Series of Poker 2 years ago. We ask all the players that are interested to pledge 1% of whatever they win in a poker tournament to the Cancer Research and Prevention Foundation. These are all things that are just very easy to do as a professional poker player that really make a big difference. I've been extremely fortunate in my life. I'm 35 and I get to play cards for a living. I got the best life ever. I got to give something back.
Phil always pledges 2% of his earnings to Bad Beat on Cancer. And his mom there on the right in the glasses looking on, obviously very proud of her son. And there is the prize money. They're playing for first place of over $594,000.
Shane's still steaming a bit from that $100 that Phil scammed off him.
Over to David Pham. Couple of tens. Originally from Vietnam, lives in Cerritos, California. A 38-year-old poker player will raise it up to 28,000 chips.
Mike Gracz told us he thinks that Pham is one of the 3 best no-limit players in the world.
Drobashevich folds over to Phil Gordon. Couple of aces.
What a life this guy leads. Good looks, pretty dames, pocket aces.
Raise.
And raises. Phil doubled up a short while ago. Looking to do same here. And he will raise it up to 73,000 chips. The blues are 5,000. The yellow chips are 1,000 each. CT Law gets out of the way. Now David Pham with the decision.
Pham, a pretty aggressive player, and he usually has a pretty good read on his opponents.
Well, usually is the key word here. He goes all in, which puts Phil Gordon all in, who can't shove his chips in fast enough.
It's the spot you want to be in when you put all your chips in. Pocket aces, a 4-1 favorite.
Mom knows a good hand when she sees it. And so Phil Gordon in dominating position right now with a couple of aces. A chance once again to put a hurt on David Pham. And now our flop is 6-Jack-3. That works just fine for Phil Gordon.
Gordon now in an overwhelming position to double up here. He needs to avoid a 10 from David Pham.
And if Gordon does double up, he'll be right up there with our chip leaders. And now the turn card to come. And the turn. Oh, it's a 10, and David Pham with a set of 10s takes a huge lead. And now, even with pocket aces, Gordon is one card from elimination.
It isn't over yet, though. Phil Gordon, with an ace on the river, can stay alive.
One card to come. It's a 3, and Phil Gordon has been eliminated. David Pham's set of 10s wins the hand, and a disappointed Ann Gordon watches her son make his exit.
At least I got your 100 rock scissors.
So Phil Gordon will take home over $66,000 for 8th place. Over $1,300 of that will go to his charity that he co-founded, Put a Bad Beat on Cancer. Nice show, Phil. Back at the Rio, and if a peek under the hat and behind the beard, you see actor Tobey Maguire with Spider-Man fame trying his luck in the huge field in that $2,000 limit hold'em event. Meanwhile, here, David Pham has taken the chip lead over Chuck Thompson. Shane Schlager is the short stack with $114,000. There is Chuck Thompson.
He hasn't played a hand.
Give me a hoo-ha for Chuck Thompson.
I'm going to play a pot, don't worry.
It's working so far.
You guys think I should play one?
No rush, man. No rush.
Chuck hasn't been playing big stack poker. He's been playing fold 'em, hold 'em.
Well, everything folds around him, and Thompson folds once again. Action now on David Pham. Doesn't fold a lot of hands. 10, deuce offsuit. He's going to play it. Okay, $26,000, the raise.
He sometimes just gets in the mood to get in the action. He likes mixing it up.
CT Law likes to mix it up as well. He's got cards to mix it up with. King, Jack of Hearts.
CT from the small blind will call the raise.
And one player behind him to act. Mike Gracz folds. So we got two aggressive players going to the flop. David Pham and CT Law. The flop comes 8, ace, king. Law collects another king. David Pham gets just what he deserved with 10 deuce offsuit.
There wasn't a whole lot of flops that would help him.
And a bet from Law of 20,000 chips.
But David's thinking of getting creative here, Lon. He's counting out some chips.
He says raise.
Wow, that's very creative. That's like finger painting without any fingers.
He raises 55,000. What a gutsy move.
Gutsy, but probably foolish in this spot. And meanwhile, CT Law looking at that board, maybe worried about the ace, maybe thinking back to that hand he lost to Phil Gordon with the kings, maybe thinking about raising right here. Oh,
wow.
gives it up.
Some warning lights went off in CT's head, and he folds to David Pham.
Oh, I hope that bluff makes Sports Center.
Pham increases his chip lead. He is a crafty competitor with great poker instincts like many from his homeland, and he's come a long way to get here.
When I was 17 years old, I escaped from Vietnam. My boat was 145 people. We lost 9 people because no food. In Vietnam, you know, in that time, is everybody tried to get away from communists. And when we little kid, we heard about, oh, in America, when you're there, you got all the money, so everybody tried to get away, you know. Like me too. My life been lucky though. Everywhere I go, I got lucky. I've been winning a lot of tournaments to make some money, and I try to save a little bit with the poor people in Vietnam. I can help a lot of people there, and when I help it, I feel good. I think that's lucky, a lucky life.
David is the cousin of Men the Master Win, and Men the Master is the person who taught him how to play poker.
And doing quite well right now. David is our chip leader with almost 600,000. He's taken that over from that man, Chuck Thompson, who's not yet played.
Chuck in the small blind.
All right, I got to finally play one.
Aces.
25.
Aces.
He chooses this hand.
Go Chuck, yeah!
Good-natured razzing from Mike Gracz.
And the crowd into it as well.
You know it's bad when they're clapping when you just enter a hand. You haven't even won yet.
Well, his cards are suited.
Over to David Pham, who's in the big blind.
And he has ace-8 offsuit. He's got to be wondering about Thompson.
Sure, you got to fear a man who has not played a pot all day. He might already have quad aces.
Well, David Pham is nothing if not aggressive. He's going to call in the big blind. So to the flop we go, heads up. And, look at that. 3-8 for Thompson. Flops 2-pair.
Yeah, Chuck Thompson sleeping with angels with that flop. His first pot of the day, and he flops 2-pair.
That's the kind of flop that makes people chip leaders, which he was coming into this final table.
This is a dangerous hand for Pham. He's flopped top pair with top kicker.
Please.
Thompson bet 40,000. Pham now raises. Let's see how much. 20, 40, 60, 80,000 he's holding. And he pushes 80,000 in.
Chuck Thompson didn't want this much action in his first hand.
I'm all in.
Chuck Thompson's going to risk it all. And Pham's got him covered.
There's the 80,000.
And Pham's got to have some concern.
354.
If you're David Pham, you got to put Chuck Thompson on at least a big pocket pair. I mean, you can't believe your eights are good right now, Lon, if you're David Pham. Here's a guy who hasn't entered a pot all day, and he's risking all his chips. It would be a heck of a bluff if he had nothing.
Whistling in the dark.
Why you whistle?
Huh?
Why you whistle? No, I just kidding.
Well, the first pot I played,
All
you know
right.
it's got to be a good hand.
I like that hand.
Exactly his point. So Pham folds to David Thompson.
Here, I'll show you something.
And he shows the cards. Wow.
Now let's David see he made a good fold.
Thompson picked up over 100,000 chips in that hand.
You did wait a long time for that big hand. Those don't come around often.
Mike was shaming me into it.
I'm not trying to shame you into anything. I like it. I thought you were playing beautifully. Don't stop putting chips in the middle. I'm sorry. I'm not going to say anything else. Nice hand, sir.
Well, Chuck Thompson finally dips his toes in the pool and says, hey, this is fine. There in the red shirt is Pascal Perot, and his exit from the final table. CT Law did the dirty work by flopping the nut flush, and Perot goes away in 7th place.
I didn't really get a feel for him, Lon.
CT Law now has over 900,000 chips.
CT's a restaurant owner, so he's used to counting cash. Right now he's counting his chips.
There's the cash and the gold bracelet given to the winner of this event number 7 here of the World Series. 42 events here. Of course, it all culminates with the big one, the main event. Over to Shea Drobushevich. And in this international world of the World Series of Poker, Drobushevich from Moline, Illinois.
Well, Mr. Middle America is all in.
With ace-6 offsuit over to CT Law.
I call.
And he will call with his ace-queen suited in clubs.
He called?
Yes, sir.
He called.
Yes.
Gratz and Schlager both playfully pointing out CT's yet in another hand.
Well, Shea's in a bit of trouble as he sees now that 6 kicker against the queen of CT Law.
Shea all in.
He's got like a 50% chance of flopping the nuts.
Schlager paying his respects to CT, who's running real hot.
I think he's due to lose a hand. I think he's due for a bad beat.
Well, Drobushevich would love to put a bad beat on CT right here, but it's not going to happen. CT pairs his queen.
Geez, Lon, that's the nuts. -1%. Shea would need running sixes to stay alive.
And the turn card's a 10, and that's not going to do it. CT Law earns the check mark, wins the hand. A meaningless card on the river. Shea Drobashevich goes home in 6th place, wins over $110,000. CT Law over 1 million chips now. So only 5 players left from this large field, but there's a tournament with a field of just 64 players. It's captured everyone's attention, as we learn in this edition of The Nuts.
Ready, set, Rochambeau.
We're going to start with the 64 best rock, scissors, paper players in the world, and in 3 rounds, we'll be down to the Elite 8.
I'm going for you! Yes!
Right from the start, what impressed me most was the diversity of styles of Rochambeauing. Just like in poker, there are many ways to win.
I'm a southpaw. I think that's going to throw a few people.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Some people will think that I am going to go rock. I'm going rock. So I'll go scissors.
Oh, classic!
You take a $1 bill and you have the serial number on it, so you fold it over. If it's 1, 2, 3, you shoot rock. 4, 5, 6, paper. 7, 8, 9, scissors.
Inside his head and stop using those bills.
No!
Annie uses the $1 bill. Personally, that's just a weak technique. There are 16 players left in the tournament.
Take you all down.
Come on, baby! Oh, we're in, baby! Yeah!
We're down to the last 8 in the World Series of Rock, Scissors, Paper. Here we go.
Hey, can I rebuy?
Wow, Gordon voicing the piece. He's writing columns for ESPN.com. It's his world. We're just living in it, Norm.
Yeah, the rich get richer. He had our parking space today.
Shane Schlager with King Jack suited.
He's an interesting story. When he got out of high school, he did not go to college. He saw Easy Rider and decided he wanted to roam the country, had a bunch of dead-end jobs, and just found his way into poker like the rest of us.
Well, at least he's got a respectable job now. And he is going to raise the 36,000 chips. David Pham, once again, will fold. CT Law folds. Over to Mike Gracz. I've not seen him play a hand yet. He's talked a lot. He's got ace-10 offsuit.
Mike, only 24 years old. Lon, when someone blows you a kiss, that's a tell, and I don't think it has anything to do with poker.
Gracz is called the Kid here. He was born in Warsaw, Poland, moved to Raleigh, North Carolina at an early age, and he will make the call. So it'll be Gracz and Schlager going to the flop. It comes 8-3-7, as oatmeal a flop as you will ever see.
Yeah, that's cold oatmeal. They both check.
And we go to the turn with a 7 of diamonds. That eliminates any hopes of a flush for Schlager.
Gracz checks.
All in.
And Schlager's going to move everything he's got into the pot.
Oh, jeez. He's all in on a bluff, Lon. I never like that.
121.
But Shane's got a good read on Gratz's hand here because Gracz just has ace high, and even though ace high is the best hand right now, this isn't a call you can make.
Schlager trying to make the most of his first World Series of poker.
Gracz still thinking about it, though. If he's thinking about it, he's thinking he has the best hand.
Gracz has had to make a lot of tough decisions before this final table. Most of the decisions were correct.
I call.
And he's going to make the call. And this is our degree all-in moment. Shane Schlager's tournament life at stake.
Oh, I don't know how he made that call, Lon, and it's the correct call. I don't know how he did it.
Ace. I'm rooting for an ace.
He put Shane on a stone-cold bluff.
What can I do?
Schlager talking to his supporters.
Well, all Schlager can do now is hope for a king or a jack.
It's a 10 of clubs, and Gracz earns the degree all-in checkmark, winning the hand. Shane Schlager's been eliminated in 5th place, wins over $132,000.
And what a call by Mike Gracz with ace high.
The All-In Moment is brought to you by New Degree for Men who take risks. It won't let you down. Best Light.
Welcome back to the Rio. CT Law is our chip leader. Chuck Thompson hanging in there. Gracz is third. David Pham, the short stack.
Gracz just started playing big tournaments back in December. Won one in Atlantic City and then won a WPT title.
That event was worth $1.5 million to Mike Gracz. Not bad for postgraduate work. He's going to play his 8-7 suited and bets $35,000. Over to David Pham, also suited 8-7.
Now, a lot of your pros will tell you that the suited 8-7 is one of their favorite hands to play. A lot of good things can happen from it.
Well, this could be very interesting as Pham is going to join the party and makes the call from the small blind. Percentages are 50-50, as you might expect. The flop comes out, Jack 9-3, no flush draw possibilities. We will have a split pot if neither one of these players folds their hand.
Both players actually flop a gut shot straight draw.
Turn card now, 5 of diamonds does not change anything.
This is one of those cases where the first person to just stab at this thing is going to take it home.
David Pham's going to stab 55,000 chips.
Well, Pham was on the short end of an audacious Gracz bluff just before we got to the final table, and maybe this is just small payback for David Pham.
Over to Gracz.
He has nothing. We've seen him show some great instincts earlier. He says raise.
So Gracz is going to come back over the top of David Pham.
As I told you, I would have figured the first person to even sneeze this pot line would win it. Pham bet at it. Should have been over, but Gracz fires back, and now it's got to be over.
It's 200,000 to David Pham, who looks at the board trying to figure out what Gracz might have. And Pham gives it up.
Pham had shark's teeth on that one, but Gracz had bigger shark's teeth to take it.
Well, there's nowhere on earth that you can learn that kind of skill. Mike Gracz is the guy who was just born to gamble.
When little kids, were growing up, they want to be doctors or baseball players. Well, I always wanted to be a poker player. At first, my family was a little bit hesitant to the idea of poker. I realized playing cards for a living really is kind of difficult for them, but after I won my first tournament, they kind of got on board a little bit more, and so I guess with success comes acceptance. There's nothing that brings me more pleasure than bluffing. That's what makes poker a great game, when you can beat somebody when you have a worse hand. And I try to look for that kind of a situation in every single tournament. I really don't care if I go home. It'll hurt, but I still feel like it was the right thing to do. Poker's always a rush for me. You just have this feeling of satisfaction, your adrenaline's going. It's the greatest feeling in the world.
Mike said it was a big thing to see himself on the cover of Card Player magazine. They won't even put my face in the classifieds of Card Player.
Gratz's friends, Chip Jett on the right and Chris Bell on the left. It was Bell who bought Gratz's entryway into the Trump Classic in Atlantic City, and Gracz went on to win that tournament. On the Milwaukee's Best Light Pocket Cam CT Law with pocket eights. He's going to raise it up to 39,000 chips.
Why wouldn't he?
Gracz gets out of the way. Thompson folds. David Pham with an ace. 5 of clubs.
Yeah, David Pham and Law. If these two guys were in the middle of the desert with no water and no chance for survival, they'd still be playing pots, Lon.
David Pham will call from the big blind. Pocket pair good for a 2-1 advantage. Well, make that 49-1 advantage for Law, who has a set of eights.
And another dangerous flop for David Pham, who made a pair of aces on that flop, and he checks.
And now CT Law is going to bet something. And he'll push out 5 blues of smallish 25,000 chip bet.
I thought he might have checked behind Pham there and maybe try to induce a bet from David on the turn, but he decided not to slow play him. He has bet him. It's up to David Pham.
Well, David's checking his chips. He's announced he's going to raise, so there are the chips for the call.
Oh, he's going down that deep, dark trail of disaster.
And Pham will push in 80,000 more chips. CT wants to know how much he's got left.
47. I put you all in.
Got to do it. CT Law will raise another 47,000. David Pham at risk now.
Automatic call for David Pham.
And he sees the 3-8s he's up against.
David Pham all in and just about all out of here.
CT Law with a golden opportunity to knock off the very dangerous David Pham here. And now the turn card. A 6 of diamonds, not going to do it. Law earns the check mark. David Pham drawing dead and has been eliminated in 4th place. He'll take home over $154,000 and comes up short in his quest for a second bracelet. CT Law with a 3-1 chip lead.
The Toyota Points Leader is brought to you by Toyota. Choose any direction, as long as it's forward. Toyota, moving forward.
Well, there's a look at the Toyota Player of the Year standings. Nobody on the list was able to improve their placement during this event, although it wasn't from a lack of trying. Day 1 of this Rebuy event was a cold, hard cash extravaganza.
Let's go. I want to rebuy.
Daniel Negreanu came armed with stacks of hundreds.
Did you bring any money? I only brought 20,000.
Last year he set a record with 27 rebuys. This year a mere 12.
Running so bad.
Early in this tournament, you couldn't walk around without hearing someone shout,
Rebuy!
Rebuy.
Rebuy!
Rebuy. 46.
The total prize pool worth $2.2 million with almost $1.5 million collected in rebuys.
It's only paper anyway. What's the difference?
Well, almost $595,000 in mere paper will go to our winner today. Chuck Thompson from Santa Cruz, California. Ace Jack of hearts. Cards to play.
Well, Chuck's been in the witness protection program today, Lon. He's trying to go undetected at the table till now.
To CT Law looking at a suited 6-5. And he folds. Gracz now with pocket 8s.
Pocket 8s will bring him into this baby.
Gracz in his first World Series of Poker. Thompson in his 20th.
I'll raise.
And he's going to raise it up like you said.
I'm all in.
Gracz is going to put the heat on Thompson and to try to bring all of Thompson's chips into the pot.
Why so much, Mike?
Indeed, a big decision for Chuck.
Why so much?
Chuck's been playing professionally for 36 years. The money means something to him, Lon. The difference between 3rd place and 1st place is more than $400,000. He doesn't want to go out here. He'd like to live for another day.
He has been quiet today, but always strong in chips. Was the chip leader when we started the final table.
I call.
And he is going to make the call and move all his chips and risk his tournament life on his Ace Jack of hearts.
Hard to root against either one of these guys, Lon. Gracz, for a 24-year-old, handles himself really well, and Chuck's one of the kindest, gentlest souls in poker.
And now about a coin flip going to our flop. It comes out King, Ace, 8, and Ace for Thompson, but a set of 8s for Gracz and the lead.
And Chuck Thompson's face reflects the grim reality. He needs to get really lucky. He'll need running aces, running kings, running jacks, or running straight or flush cards, or his tournament is over.
Chuck Thompson on the ropes now. And without help, he is gone. The turn card, a king of diamonds.
All right. Let's go. King. King or ace. Let's go. King or ace.
I didn't know Chuck had a little Saturday night fever in him. He will need an ace or a king on the river, or Chuck Thompson's going home.
And now the river card, a 9 of diamonds. It does not help Thompson. Mike Gracz wins the hand. Chuck Thompson eliminated in 3rd place. He'll take home over $176,000. In his previous final table appearances, he's finished 7th, 6th, 5th, and 4th, and now 3rd. So now we've got Mike Gracz and CT Law going heads up for the bracelet in this $1,000 no-limit hold'em event. Aggressive. Fearless. Both have played their part in wiping out the competition. The final showdown is sure to be a wily battle between two very clever minds.
Poker is a game of incomplete information, and if I can continually keep them confused and guessing, they're eventually going to make a mistake.
Normally, I'm quite aggressive myself, my play, but you never know. I mean, one hand make the difference. One hand.
Poker is a game of incomplete information, and both these guys keep you guessing. It's worked well for them here.
Well, the aggression of CT Law has given him about a 2-to-1 chip advantage as we begin heads up, but Mike Gracz just needs a double up once, and he'll have the 2-to-1 advantage. Both players have been very aggressive, able to read their opponents uncannily. CT Law with an ace-king offsuit. And he will act with a raise of 30,000. Nice cards.
Mike Gracz graduated from NC State. He wanted to drop out of school to play poker full-time, but his mother, who's a professor there, made him finish school.
Ace-5 of diamonds that he will just make the call. Law with a 2-to-1 advantage as we go to the flop, and it comes ace, deuce, 8. An ace for both players, a diamond for Gracz.
CT Law with the best kicker with his ace, so he's in a dominating position. Gracz checks.
CT Law reaching for chips. Wanting to push the action, he does. 50,000 chips.
Hey, CT, don't let the kid touch your chips. Ever.
Yeah, that's crossing the line. CT did not announce the amount, so Mike Gracz just making sure of the bet.
Gracz knows CT will play a lot of hands, so he'll just call this one, thinking perhaps that his aces are best, but as we know, CT well ahead.
And the turn card is a 3. Gracz still way behind, but with a straight draw.
He checks his gut shot straight draw. Action to CT. It's a question of how much he wants to bet that he thinks will be called.
CT trying to extract more chips from Gracz. He pushes out 130,000. Turns up the heat on the young kid. Oh, he's not feeling the heat, though.
Now, we've seen him, as you mentioned before, have great reads on opponents earlier. This one, he thinks he's ahead in the hand line, but he's behind. He does make the call. For Gracz to steal this pot away from CT, he'd have to pair his 5, or a 4 on the river would make him a wheel.
And now the river card. Oh, and it is a 4. Gracz earns the check mark with the straight. Wow, yeah.
And he just very disciplined, will check it and hope to induce a bet out of CT, who's pretty aggressive.
A bet out of Gracz right there might scare CT away because there actually is that wheel draw on the board.
Well, CT couldn't have put him on a 5, and here you see CT making a value bet. He's betting 200,000, hoping it gets called.
You see the check mark next to Gratz's name. He can only lose his hand if he folds. And it's a 200,000 chip bet to him. He's reaching for more than that. Gracz raises to 430,000. Chris Bell and Chip Jet look on anxiously.
All in. I call.
Oh, CT's not going to like the look of this.
Wow. What a river card for Mike Gracz.
And what a turn of events. Lon, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, and this kid's good.
And he gets lucky at just the right time. CT Law sends a lot of his chips over to the kid.
Sorry, CT.
And Mike Gracz with almost 1.5 million chips. Back to a very crowded Rio hotel.
Oh, hey, I found extra chips.
Ah, nice surprise for Mike Gracz. Money found is better than money earned.
Where do you live?
North Carolina. I like my hometown. I like being closer to my family anyway.
Your family be proud of you?
Yeah, I think they were proud of me anyway. But yeah, I think they were.
I'm proud of him, and I don't even know him, Lon. I just like the cut of his jib.
And I think CT recognizes that too and respects this youngster. What a run he's been on. If he wins here today, it'd be his 3rd win in 7 months coming out of college, and he's got a pocket pair of deuces.
And Gracz will call out of the small blind.
CT with a 7 of hearts, 8 of diamonds. And reaching for chips. Actually reaching for more chips, raises 50,000 more.
He's going to navigate the high seas with his 8-7 offsuit.
And Gracz will call and stack.
Oh, how many times I got to take this kid out to the woodshed? You don't touch the other player's chips.
Coin flip going to the flop. It comes out a 5, 6, 5. A straight draw for CT Law.
Up and down straight draw for CT. And, of course, 2 pair from Mike Gracz.
CT bets 100,000 chips. Gracz with the chip lead right now, and he matches that 100,000.
He's determined. He's got the best hand with the pocket pair, and he's right. I don't know if CT likes him as much right now.
Turn card's a jack.
All in.
Whoa, CT's going to push it all.
My goodness. All in on a draw. We've seen it before.
You're all in.
That puts a lot of pressure on Mike Gracz. This is for all of CT Law's chips if Mike Gracz calls. Mike Gracz has the smallest pocket pair you can. So he's getting down and closer to his chips. They give him a better feel for the game.
I call.
Another great call by Mike Gracz.
Who is this kid?
I have a pair.
And CT Law sees that he is behind.
He's behind in for all his chips. If he loses here, Mike Gracz is our champion. CT's got a lot of outs, Lon. He can, with a 9 or a 4, he makes a straight. With an 8 or a 7, he makes better 2 pair. With a jack, he makes jacks and 5s with a better kicker. With a 6, we have a split pot. They'll both play the board. I believe if he has a Diners Club card in his wallet, he also wins the pot.
Even with all those outs, Gracz is still just 1 card away from a bracelet. It's a 6! Oh my goodness! There are 2 pair with a jack kicker on the board. That means a chop pot.
And there is the happiest chop pot winner in world history.
Look how relieved he looks.
Great call. Good call. Good bag.
That's
wow,
tremendous.
What a call. He is right. What a call by Mike Gracz.
You have a lot of cards. I mean, you got a lot of good cards for it.
Lon, I don't want to sit here and compare this to watching, say, a Bruce Springsteen concert, but this is some pretty entertaining poker. You got to love it.
You got it. You are right. Gratz's buddies, Chris Bell and Chip Jett, anxiously looking on as everyone else is here in this room with the blinds at 10 and 20,000. Gracz checks his whole cards. An 8 and a queen, suited in spades. And that's worthy of 60,000 chips.
He raises from the small blind and it's up to CT.
Queen, jack of diamonds for CT Law. And that should be a pretty easy call at least.
Oh, sure, he might want to push it.
No, he's just going to call. So the jack outkicks the 8. They share the queen. It's CT Law with the lead. Going to the flop. 8, 5, jack. Both pair their kicker.
And CT Law again has a stranglehold on this. He gets top pair while Mike Gracz gets middle pair.
And Law checks. Gracz does not. And he will bet out with 75,000 chips.
No reason for Mike not to believe he has the best hand right now. But as we know, CT does have a jack in the pocket.
CT Law reaching for chips, trying to turn the heat up on the kid, Mike Gracz. CT Law now two-fistedly raises it to 180,000 chips.
And there's a check raise that should make Mike Gracz think a bit.
All in.
Oh, and calmly Gracz is all in.
He didn't think that long. And now his bet means that CT would have to go all in to call it. CT's got the better hand.
And he's got about 600,000 chips left to work with.
Okay, I call.
And he is all in.
Jack, you have jack?
Gracz sees the bad news. He is way behind.
That'll put a squiggle on your face.
Oh, boy.
So CT with the good call there. Big favorite. He is all in for all his chips.
He says, what can I do? I got a pair of 8s, but he is trailing the 2 jacks of CT Law. And now the turn. Oh, it's an 8! Mike Gracz with 3 8s takes the lead.
Oh, what can CT Law do? I mean, you saw the bad luck he had when Gracz made that wheel on the river, and now that 8 puts Mike Gracz on the precipice of this championship.
CT Law crestfallen, extends his hand, and congratulations.
No. What?
I concede defeat. Come on.
I like the gesture, Lon, but this isn't chess.
No white flag can go up here.
One more card to go. CT Law needs a jack and a jack only.
It's a 6, and that's going to do it. A stunning turnaround for Mike Gracz in this final hand of heads up. And CT Law is eliminated. Mike Gracz, the kid, 24 years old, wins his first bracelet in his first World Series of Poker. And CT Law wins $311,000 for second place.
I'm going to wear this.
In the end, it was the young gun from North Carolina and his uncanny instincts that prevailed over a very experienced table.
You can't be this good, can you?
No, I've been very fortunate in all the tournaments I've played in. The big thing for me is just never giving up in a tournament, and I really think that's given me some opportunities. But obviously, I've gotten fortunate and lucky in some spots to be able to win 3 in 6 months.
A new champion to be reckoned with has emerged here at the World Series of Poker.